things just wouldn't work. There we go. Okay. My basic decision was, and I got a little feedback from a few other members, things they wanted to learn. And I think I should stick with the stuff I'm actually familiar with. So let me navigate to my profile. Oh, this says I have to log in. That's weird. I thought I was logged in. And of course, it's not going to give me my saved passwords. That was the problem last time. Well, great. They want you to update your passwords, and then you ask for a suggestion, and it's like 20 characters long. 20 characters long.
Passwords drive me crazy.
Well, yeah, my wife was telling me I should get a password manager app.
I love mine. Dashlane.
Yeah, I've heard that. I guess I'm just old-fashioned enough. Yeah, I must have got a character on. I don't quite trust him. I wish. Oh, there we go. Well, I could wish a lot of things. I better concentrate on getting the letters right. Okay, one more time. Let me try something different. That's weird. In my browser, I'm logged in. So let me see if I can trick this thing into giving me my password. Let's try this. Well, let me navigate around a little bit. I switched to this profile's descendants, and I'm going to work my way down to myself. And here we go. Oh, okay. Well, here's an example of how WikiTree protects the information of living people. I can't get to myself unless I'm logged in. Well, let me try one more time. I can't imagine that I can't spell my own name. And what happened? It doesn't like my fat little fingers. That's why I got a big screen tablet. There we go. You know, I can read my own handwriting. And see, I just cannot get all of those silly characters right. I haven't gone away. I'm here. And I don't think that's right. How can that be right? Well, let's try that one. Hallelujah, there we are. Okay. This is my WikiTree nav page, and let's see. The things we wanted to show you, one is going to be a profile merge. And on the other thing we wanted to talk about is sources. So let me go to my dad's profile here. There we go. And of course, here at the top are the big green tabs and the yellow one on the right side for the different views and pages. So I'm going to go, well, and below that, of course, is the profile vitals, name, birth, siblings, birth parents, siblings, children, death date, and shows that I'm the profile manager. Last edited on 23 August. And down below is the body of the biography, which I've only put minimal details in there. My sister wrote a very nice eulogy for him for his funeral, and I've been meaning to transcribe that and put that in there. Okay, so now under sources, you see that I've got two, and one is the 1940 census, which I've captured from Family Search. The other one is just a what kind of source would you call that? A firsthand information source that I just put in there, so you can see how Ken was born in 1935, son of Gene and Irene Lake. He had three brothers and one sister. They grew up in the Sandhills of Nebraska near the Dismal River, and so I've used the 1940 census as the source for that. And down below that bullet is the details from the 1940 census, which shows his father Eugene, his mother Irene, Kenneth, and his next older brother Stanley, who's 1 year old. And then, and of course, the citation below that. Now, WikiTree has help pages for setting up sources, and they have a particular recommendation for a source, but they're not real sticky on it. And this is kind of the method I have come up with. It's a little bit more work to put the transcribed information or the indexed information in there, but let me go into edit mode and show you. Whoops. Go into edit mode and show you in this screen where you can see certain radio buttons are checked for certainty or uncertainty about facts, and it's always good to use those so that other people that come on and look at your profiles know if something is has a source to back it up. Now, at the present time, birth and death dates are, you have to take my word for it. That's me as the source. Down below all the vitals is the edit window for the biography, and you can see there after the line Dismal River, then there's a bunch of code. And can you see my cursor? It starts out with right arrow. I'm sorry, left arrow. my other right. Left arrow, REF, right arrow. And then I put in where the source is from, comma, bracket, open bracket. And then you can see there is the URL for that record, web page on the Family Search website with a closed bracket, comma, and then a description that this is the 1940 census. So when we go to a preview, you can see again that all of that code between the left arrow and the last right arrow, it comes up as a what do you call that number one there? A reference, source reference? No, well, it's a source reference, but it's a footnote. So then down below sources, that's where that verbiage shows up again with the number one. If I was to click on that number one, and I don't know how this is going to work. It wants to go somewhere. Does it? Can it? Well, by clicking on that link, it would normally take you to the web page.
Does it tell us how to do that in WikiTree somewhere? How to put that link?
Yeah, I'll give you an example here.
Okay.
Let me close the preview window, and we'll go back up to the edit mode here. And so what I'll do is I will add another reference. I'll just make it up, so it won't actually go anywhere. But I'm gonna Control C, copy that reference, and come down here, and I'm going to put in that verbiage again, but I'm going to edit it so that it says Kansas marriages. I'm going to say, I'm going to leave the familysearch.org there. And what I would do is go over to Family Search and take out this URL and put in the URL for the Kansas marriage record, which would be different. But then when I save this, or no, what I'm going to do is preview it first. So see, it gives me another footnote there after Kansas, and it moves the next source. Whoops, what'd I do? It moves the next source down to number 3 and inserts this Kansas marriages in the source list.
Oh.
Now, what I haven't done is actually gone over to Family Search and copied the indexed information and the citation from that source, but that you all understand how copy and paste works, and that would be copied down below this source. I like to put my sources in chronological order. And where did my cursor go? I didn't want it to disappear. So what I would do is create a source. Well, I'd be copying the verbiage. I don't know that I can actually do that in this situation. And it would look like this. And usually marriage collections are a date range. So let's say Kansas marriages, and I'm just guessing, Kansas marriages started in 1867 to 1989. And then I'd have the indexed information. Now, the next funny little character is a line break. And if you don't put this in, well, actually, I'll show you if I don't put that in. I may think I have a line break because I did a carriage return. So then if I put a few examples of what is probably in the source on family search. And then let me just put in a citation. And none of these have line breaks. So, well, I mean, they don't have the code for a line break. So I'm going to put in Kansas marriages. Oh, okay. And I'm just going to put a lot of Control C, Control V, copy, paste that comes into play in this. And let's see, where did that say they were married? Oh, Hiawatha. That's interesting. Dell's father was married in Topeka, but also lived in Nebraska at the time. Kansas must have been like Vegas, someplace where Nebraska people ran off to get married. That's a joke. I doubt if that's true. So then from family search, of course, there'd be some other official verbiage identifying the record and where it's found, probably in the Kansas State Archives or something like that. And so now I'm going to turn on the preview here, and you're going to see what happens to that text. There, see, there are no line breaks.
I think
So
you'll
this
find people ran to Las Vegas to get divorced more than to get married.
Oh, okay. Well, I ran into plenty of both, especially on my mom's side of the family. Okay, so this is an example of what a lot of people find difficult about how to deal with WikiTree and the way you have to. I'm going to copy that little piece of code, how they deal with the way to format in the edit window to get what you want in the finished profile. So I'm going to copy. Oops. Give me the right buttons. I'm going to copy this onto each line. And now I'm going to do another preview. And it's going to show you those line breaks. And that's the way it'll look after I hit save. So,
Let me see that code again. I was trying to write it down.
okay, well, okay, there's an easier way to do it.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, there isn't.
Oh, really?
I was thinking of this button up here at the top of the editor with the capital letter C in it. And let me show you what that does. Let me go in. Oh, let's say for instance, I have a birth record for him. If I hit that C button, what it does is automatically puts in that left arrow REF, right arrow at the beginning, and the left arrow / REF, right arrow at the end. And then you just have to put the reference in the middle. Now, what a lot of people do is they go with inline references totally. So what they'll do is take the title of a reference like this. Oop, other button. That should work. Oh, this one. Like this. And they'll copy it up here. And then, oh yeah, then they'll grab a URL. Like we have here. The rest of that source, like this, and put it, oops, back over here. And then we'll do the preview again. And see all that that long string of verbiage I put in that reference up there for his birth comes up as a footnote, number one, but then all the text that I put in there shows up down here below this sources heading. And the people that do an inline source like that skip this part down here. Because all that's really necessary is to identify what the record is and where it came from and a URL, and they're done. So there's well, actually, if I went over here, I could show you a help page if it's going to let me do it. It doesn't like that. Okay. Apparently I can't go to a help page if I'm in a, oh, well, I could do that. Why can't I do that? I could open another tab, which I usually do. After an evening of working on profiles like this, I want to shut down my computer and I have to close 15 or 20 tabs. Well, so let me cancel out of this without saving. And I'm going to do that by going back to the profile view. Now see, it gives me this warning. Confirm navigation. Changes you have made are not saved. Are you sure you want to navigate away this page? So this is kind of a safety net. If you forget to hit save, it's also an easy way to undo all the stuff you messed up in editing a page and don't want to go back and figure out what you changed. So if we leave this page, it won't save the changes I made. The biography reverts to what it was in the first place. And now I'm going to go to a help page and look at the style guide. You see that listed next to the bottom there? And this really is kind of the hardest part of WikiTree. And what I'm going to go to is the sources style guide here. Yes. Give me the sources style guide. There it went. Okay. So they have some suggestions on how to do how you do your sources, so that anybody that goes to a profile, no matter who's created it or created the source, everybody can figure out how to use the links and what the source says. So this starts out by saying there's a number of common styles. On WikiTree, the preferred style is the evidence explained format based on the Chicago Manual of Style. And I don't know if any of the rest of you are familiar with these styles of creating source references. But it reminds me of trying to get a college degree. So in this first example, if we click on evidence explained, where does it take us? I don't know where it takes us. Stop touching the screen, Steve. Oh, it takes us to a website that apparently is by an expert on creating sources and references. So I'm actually surprised it took me out here to this. There's a lot there to read. Let me see if I can back up to where I was. Nope. Doesn't like that. Let me try again. I think I have to go yellow. Huh. That's going to be a trick. How do I go back where I was before? Bum, 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 bum. No. Huh. Now I don't know how to get back to WikiTree. I'm lost. I'm lost. Any suggestions? I'm not seeing a way to.
No, back arrow.
That's weird. Oh, well, let me go back.
Can you right click and go and then click back? Let's see if it goes back.
Oh, I don't have a mouse.
You don't have a mouse?
No, I'm on my tablet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here. Will it give me a screen menu? No.
Can you minimize it? Oh, no, you don't have anything.
Now I only got one window open here. It's got me corralled. Well, let me go back to no. Here we go. Let me stop sharing and go back and share again. It'll probably make me sign in. Oh, does it? This is the page where we started. And my screen is so small. Oh, I am logged in. Okay. Let's see. Is there a way to get back where I was? Well, let me go to help again and show you that style guide. And I won't touch that link. And we'll go to the sources style guide. There. So there they have a link to a website that will help explain their format. And the next section says WikiTree suggests two basic types of what could interchangeably be called sources or citations. For simplicity, we call them sources and references. So we could click on that link and it would drop us down. Oh yeah, the sources would take us to the sources heading. So what they call sources are items on a source list, bibliography, or works cited. And so there's a lot of detail and a lot of things to be learned. Here's an example of the formatting, and I'll go back to my dad's profile and show you what it looks like underneath the sources section, where the inline references show up. And I'll explain that. So let me go back to me. Where's me? Oh, here. Is it like that? Come on. And I will go to, why does it give me that page? There we go. Sometimes this thing won't hold still, and when I'm about to click on something, things will shift and I'll get the wrong button. Don't you love it? Come on. Here's Ken. Whoops. See? I want Ken. And then it went to my grandfather. Let's go back to just Ken. Thank you. Edit. I want to edit, please. Oh, that's interesting. It shows me I have uncommitted draft changes, which is what we were doing before. I can choose to go back and reuse that draft, which I don't think I want to do. So I'm going to say discard draft, which it tells me up at the top of the page I discarded the previous draft. So now I'm back in edit mode. And here is the biography and the sources as they were when I first opened up this page. So I want to explain below this sources heading is a piece of code that looks like this: left arrow, references, space, /, right arrow. And if you ever lose that or don't have it, notice over here in the left column is some instructions on how to add sources. So you're not left having to completely reinvent the wheel. They do give you examples over here on the right column. And yes, we can borrow this text and if you'll just hold still for me. Here we go. See, I can highlight that, Control C, copy it, and bring it over here and put it where I need it if this was missing. Then it also gives you an example below that here on the right side of how to put in a asterisk space and then put in the verbiage for your source. And below that is an example of an inline reference, so you don't have to dream that up. Of course, the C button for citing sources is up there above the edit window, which will give you the same thing. But so you can either grab that or copy it from over here. Then there's some instructions on categories, links, and these would be links to other profiles on WikiTree. And basically what you do is put in a double bracket, open bracket, and then the profile number with a, I don't know what that's called, a vertical line, and then the name. And actually you can put any text you want in there for the name. I could put in his full name instead of just Gene Lake, that example. I could put in Eugene Harold, or Harold Eugene was actually his full name. Then I could even put in parentheses, birth year, death year, or other information and to identify that. Let me, oh, yeah. Let me just put one of those in there just so you can see how that looks. That's not really along the line of references, but it's kind of a handy item that you can put in a profile if you want to make it easier for people to navigate. So see, I copied that information there. And now I'm going to go to the preview and see Gene Lake, the name is back in there, but now it's a green, I don't know if you can see that. It's a green text that's underlined. So that means it's now a link. And that link will take you to the profile of Ken's father. And I could do the same thing for his mother. His sister is deceased, and so I could put her name in there and a link to that profile, and it would be visible. His other three brothers are still living, so I probably wouldn't put in a link like that to a profile of a living person. Well, so I think we've probably looked at this enough. And yes, I'm sorry, looking at it once isn't gonna, you're not gonna be able to figure it out the first time. And so that's why I showed you the help page. And I also pointed out these instructions on the right side that help, that give you a head start on putting those funny little codes in there. Any questions at this point? Oh, and we're running late since we started late. Is it time to quit, or shall I quickly talk about the other item?
What was the other item? It's 8:20, so we can give people an option if they want to stick around.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess there always is that leave the meeting option. And,
Right.
and we won't feel bad if people go away and
Right.
call it good. Okay. Oh, the other item was merging a profile. And it's going to be interesting to try to figure out. Let me get out of this profile, and I'm not going to save any changes. And I'm going to go to my grandfather, Gene. Oh, and we jumped to Frank. There we go. No? Hello. I got a delay here, so I just got to wait for it. Okay. I believe down here at the bottom of the profile is some tools. Oh, that's quite a long memory on there. Okay. Matches and merges. In order to initiate that or to add a match, you have to know what the other profile is. So let me try something different. Let me go to the top of the page. Man, that's a long page. Somebody's been busy on this profile. Let me go to family, tree, and tools. That middle tab, of course, the top shows you a horizontal pedigree. And below that is a list of research tools. And so, last I remembered, there was a way to look for duplicate profiles. Here we go. Start with find matches, search for Gene. So I'm going to click on that. And what did it do? Apparently it didn't find any matches. Well, that's weird. Oh, here we go. There it comes up. Okay. We've got a whole bunch of them. Now you notice on this list, are the first two are the last name, the surname Lake. Then after that, it goes into variations. Lackey, Leak, Lacey, Block, Leach. Okay, well, that didn't turn up any matches, but below that list, it gives us a way to search for possible merges. Let's take out the specific dates. And let's see what return we get on that. Okay, top of the list is the profile we were just on. Oh, there aren't any matches. Oh, that's weird. And I thought this was going to be easy. Well, let me go back to my profile and look for my dad. Let's see if there's a duplicate out there of my dad. I know there's one. It just depends on whether this goofy thing can figure it out. Merging matches, find matches. Robert Kenneth, Kenneth Brevard, Lackey, Leach, Lacey. Let us go back in here and shorten his name and see what we can find. Let's take out the death date altogether because I may have fictionalized that. No. Really? Look at, there's a Kenneth Lake managed by a Kenneth Lake. I don't think that's him. The next one is Kenneth Marvin. That's the profile we just looked at. Lackey, Leach. Well, rats. Let's look at this Kenneth Lake. This member joined in 2011. He has 0 contributions. That's weird. He's got a pretty serious privacy setting. We probably can't mess with this profile, even though it is obviously very old and has no relationships. Now, normally in family search, I'd make this profile disappear in a heartbeat. When you don't have any activity for years and years and years, and no relationships and no sources, a profile like this would be ripe for merging. But because of the privacy setting, we can't mess with that. Okay, well, rats. We might not be able to do a merge. Well, let me.
I have a question. What if somebody
Yeah.
merges their grandfather with your grandfather? Can you undo it?
Okay. Well, I can describe what is going to happen. Oh yeah. Right. Let me go over here. Hello. I know you heard me. Do I have to? There we go. Okay. So here under the privacy tab, we can see that I'm the only one that's on the trusted list. And since Ken's profile, oh no, it's set open. Okay. Well, since it's open, yeah, anybody can propose a merge. So we go down here and we initiate a merge. And of course, in order to do that, I have to have a profile ID, which would be put into the merge proposal. And I don't know why it's taking so long. So, but there's a procedure, there's a protocol. So you would initiate a merge and put in the 2 profiles you think are matches, and then you would have a button to initiate it. You wouldn't go directly to a merge window. You could compare the 2 profiles side by side and initiate a merge, but messages would go back to the people on the trusted list of both of those profiles, and they would have to approve the merge. Let's see, I can't remember. If you're familiar with Find a Grave, you can propose edits and merges, and if the memorial managers don't respond, the edit or merge request will automatically be approved after 30 days. Here on WikiTree, it doesn't it doesn't work that way. There's not an expiration date and there's not an automatic function without the, oh, here we go. So I would need an ID number 2 from the profile. And then second, we could compare, we could create, and if we decided they were not a match, we could designate them as either an unmerged match or a rejected match. And a rejected match would alert others to the fact that those two profiles had been evaluated and were judged to not be matches and not candidates for merging. So if we put a profile ID in there and clicked on merge, then the next step would be all the people on the trusted lists from both those profiles would be notified that a merge has been suggested, and then they would need to approve it. And the first one to approve it, the merge would still not happen. It would have to be approved by somebody else on the second profile. And at that point, either the manager for the second profile could go ahead and complete the merge, or could simply approve it and let somebody else finish the process. So that gives you some assurance that merges aren't done frivolously. But there's a team of volunteers on WikiTree that is constantly searching for duplicates and proposing merges, and then letting the profile managers finish the process, because WikiTree is dedicated to having one shared world tree, and only one profile per real person is allowed. So merging is a big deal, but I don't see much of it here on WikiTree, because when you go in and create a new profile, it does a fairly exhaustive search to look for duplicates, and it returns suggestions that you have to evaluate and check off as non-duplicates before you can finish creating that profile. So up front, it's a little difficult to create a duplicate, and then there's procedures and safeguards. So I hope that helps describe it. And sorry, I can't actually demonstrate it. So yeah, it's getting late, and maybe that's enough for this time. And I hope those that are still with us have gotten a little better appreciation of some of the insides of WikiTree and how it works. I hope the intricacies of creating sources won't scare you off. It took me a week or two to finally get some of those codes figured out, so that my profile had a neat, clean appearance, and I had line breaks in the right places. Now, I don't use line indentations much, but there's another code for that, so that you can break up your biography to draw attention to certain details and sections. Oh, yeah, that was another one. I should point that one out. Let me run over there real quick again. Those biography and source headings with the equal signs on either end, those are kind of handy to use. Actually, I should take you to, I don't know why this is so slow. Do I dare touch another button or wait for it? You guess I have to wait for it. Let me go to my family tree and tools. And let me go to second great grandfather. Oh, no, actually, let me go to his wife. If it doesn't take too long. Waiting, waiting, waiting. It's gotten quite a bit slower just in the last few minutes. Is it going to go there? Are we going to go there? Try it one more time. There we go. Here on my great grandmother Mary's profile, you'll see how I've just used 2 line breaks to split up the paragraphs instead of a line break. There's also a way to insert photographs in your biography, and let's see that. Yeah. Okay. So this one has quite a few sources. You can see there a number of census records and an obituary. Oh, and you notice for the obituary, there's a 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. That means her obituary was cited for numerous different facts. And that's another fun way to set up repeating source references. This is a profile I did several years ago. I didn't add in the transcriptions of the indexed information. So this is kind of a shorter version of the sources. And what I really wanted to do was come over here and show you a different profile that has even more going on it. Let's see if we can get there here in a minute. This individual we discovered was a daughter of John McConnellog's first wife. And so was a half sister to the rest of his children. And there we go. So her profile has, oh rats, it doesn't even do that either. That picture of the house is there because she's the one that built it, but let me go just show you one more thing. We're going to edit. And you see how on the first line, the biography is bracketed by 2 equal signs. And down below that, the sources section is the same thing. And that's called a second level heading. You can use 1 equal sign on either side, or 2 or 3 or 4, and they will give you bigger, bolder headings the more equal signs you add to it. And if you use multiple headings, your profile will then start out with an outline automatically at the top of the profile, which is kind of handy to use. Anyway, that's another example of the various kinds of formatting. And then, of course, the help menu will take you to explanations and the crazy little codes for certain things you want to do. Some people will put a box somewhere in their biography, and it will have lists of things that you can then scroll through.
Hmm.
I haven't figured out how to set up one of those, but anyway, there's lots of options if you know you have a creative spirit and want to do fancy things with your biography.
Hmm.
But that's for another day.
It does have a lot. It's amazing what that woman did that gave us that talk about WikiTree. She
Well,
had DNA and everything.
oh yeah, and part of what made that presentation so good was that she was able to talk fast and she got through a lot of it because there's a lot here.
Yeah.
And yeah, my caution is it can be overwhelming, and but there are help pages, but there are also volunteers where you can ask for help, and that is one of the other important features of WikiTree is the genealogist to genealogist feed, where you can go in, and if you're having something you can't figure out or have a question, any kind of question, you can go in and ask a question, and there's a big group of volunteers that monitors this G2G feed. When they see your question, somebody will usually jump right on it within minutes and suggest answers.
Yeah, I
And of
was
course,
pretty
yeah,
surprised. I just joined it for a while. I didn't continue, but I had a lot of people like contact me and ask me if I needed help. And I thought I was very impressed with that.
oh yeah, they have a whole team of volunteers called greeters
Uh-huh.
that are on the lookout for newly created profiles. And yes, they are very prompt and friendly about introducing themselves and offering assistance. And so
Yes.
that really helps offset the challenges of learning how to format your profiles.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, this has been really interesting, Steve. I appreciate you coming on and talking to us for 3 nights and helping us
yeah,
get going
and
on this.
yes,
It's really helpful.
and one last thing
Uh-huh.
is very important. I'm available to answer individual questions, whether it's on the phone or by Zoom meeting or in person.
Oh, okay.
So if you would like my help, I'm happy to offer that. But of course, I'm also pointing out that there are a large number of volunteers on WikiTree every day, all day
Yeah,
that will answer questions and give suggestions.
I think that's great. Yes. Okay, well, thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
It's been really good. There, I
Thank you,
learned a
Steve.
lot more than I thought.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you, and thank you, Russ, for joining us.
Thank
And we'll see you
thank
all
you
at
all.
the next meeting.
Right. Good night.
Okey doke.
Where'd it go?
Did you have a question, Russ?
No, I was just looking for the leave the meeting button.
Oh, yeah,
I found
I
it.
can end it for everybody, but thanks, Steve, again.
Yep. You're welcome.
We'll see ya.